Hi, I'm Finn and I'm 16.
Hi, I'm Megan and I'm a dietitian.
Today we're going to be cooking spaghetti bolognese with a little Australian twist. But first we have to wash our hands.
So wet your hands with water and apply enough soap to cover all hand surfaces. Rub your hands palm to palm and clean the backs of your hands in between your fingers as well. Clean your fingernails and your thumbs and rinse off the soap with water. The whole thing should take about 20 seconds or long enough to sing happy birthday twice. Dry your hands with paper towel when you're done. So Finn, today we're making your special Australian bolognese.
Yep.
What ingredients do we need?
So we're going to have some minced meat, some celery, carrot, onion, mushrooms. We've got some garlic, tomato paste, zucchini, mixed herbs, Vegemite, tomato, and Parmesan.
Vegemite, that's an interesting ingredient.
Yep.
That's what gives it the Australian twist.
Yep.
And what utensils do we need?
So we're going to use a knife, the spaghetti spoon, a chopping board with non-slip mat, and silver spoon, and a grater, and the wooden spoon.
Great. So what is the first step?
So we're going to start by chopping up. I'm going to show you how to chop up the celery.
Okay. Have you got any special tips for this?
Make sure to keep your fingers tucked away so you don't chop them up.
Okay.
We'll start by cutting here, chopping this white end off, and then we're going to make a cut here, and we're going to be cutting it up into thirds.
That's it, so just slicing down the whole way there, keeping your fingers out of the way, that's really good. So this is a dish that's packed full of vegetables. We've got a lot of variety in here. We've got some celery, some carrots, some zucchini, tinned tomatoes and mushrooms. A really great combination.
And then we're going to be cutting it up into the cubes,
Great.
along like this.
Okay, so cutting it into nice small squares to mix into your sauce later.
Make sure when cutting it, you have the round side facing up so it doesn't roll around.
That's a great tip.
And we're going to be using the leaves as well because we want to use the whole celery, no waste. And go along, chop this up.
Okay, so that's the celery almost done.
Now we're going to put it into the bowl, just here. And moving on to grating of the carrot. Start by chopping off the ends. Getting our grater and using the big side.
Any tips for grating at home?
Make sure that to keep your fingers as far away from the grater as possible because you don't want to grate up your fingers, just the carrot. Alright, as we get to the end, just finish the last part up, and when it gets too close to your fingers, if you just want to put away the last little bit to the side because you don't want to grate your fingers up.
Great, so we have our celery and our carrot ready to go. We've got some of our other ingredients already prepped as well. So what's next?
So we're going to move on to cooking the onion.
Okay.
We're going to put a little bit of olive oil into the pan first. Just drizzle it in like that. And then grab the onions and put them into the pan. And turn on the stove.
So you want a medium to high heat on the stove. So you will want to keep an eye on it and make sure it doesn't burn.
And get your wooden spoon and start to mix it up and cook it until it's translucent. And remember always to hold the pan from the handles, not from the metal, because you don't want to burn yourself. Okay, so we've been cooking the onions for about 2 minutes now. It's looking good. And we'll know it's ready once it gets a bit clear and sizzles a bit more. Now we're going to be adding the carrots. The celery. Mushrooms. And the garlic. I'm going to be stirring that for a bit.
How long does this need to stir for?
This should take about 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm. And you still want to keep your eye on it because it is hot.
So as you can see, we've been cooking this for about 5 minutes now, and the veggies are looking soft, which means they're ready. And it should look kind of golden and a little bit crispy. Now we're going to be adding the minced meat. So,
when you're cooking with minced meat, choose a lean variety if you can.
now I'm going to be breaking up the minced meat. We're going to cook it until it goes a brown colour for about 5 minutes. This has now been cooking for about 5 minutes and it's looking nice and brown, as you can see, which means it's cooked. And we're going to be adding the other ingredients now. Starting with the tomato.
So we've used canned tomatoes, no added salt.
And the zucchini. The tomato paste. The Vegemite. And a pinch of mixed herbs and spices. Now we're going to be mixing it up.
So Finn, tell me about this Vegemite. That's a really interesting ingredient. What kind of flavour does that give the bolognese?
it just gives that extra savoury flavour.
Okay. Doesn't make it too salty?
Oh, no, not really, no.
And because we're using other ingredients that are low in salt, a little bit of Vegemite just gives it a bit of an extra flavour. So Finn, how long do we cook for at this step?
So we're going to bring to the boil and then we're going to let it simmer to about 40 to 45 minutes.
And this will help the flavours develop over time, so the longer the better.
So here we have the sauce. It's been on simmer for the last 45 minutes. Now we're ready to serve. We have the pasta that we put on about 10 minutes ago, so it would be ready by the time we're finished. Make sure to use an oven mitt so you don't burn yourself. Bring it over to your drainer.
So you can use any kind of pasta here. We've used spaghetti, but you can use wholemeal varieties, white varieties, or gluten-free. So sometimes this can be a bit heavy, so do get an adult to help you if you need it. And now we just have to assemble the pasta. Any tips here, Finn?
You can put however much pasta that you want, but some people like more meat than pasta, but each to your own.
This is a great family favourite with a twist. Bolognese is a good source of proteins, carbohydrates, and it's packed full of veggies. It's an easy meal to do a big cook up and put in the freezer for later. How does it look, Finn?
It's looking good. Just the last bit of cheese on the top.
And there you have it, Finn's Aussie Bolognese.